Hi, welcome to Blinkity Bloop. I'm Drew D'Amelia.
And I'm Nick Padula.
And Blinkity Bloop is a band that makes incredible music that I really think you're going to enjoy. Nick and I are in it, as well as several other unnamed people. Blinkity Bloop is also a podcast where we talk about movies that are coming out in theaters. So just try not to get them mixed up, and I think we're going to have a great time. And Nick, today we're going to talk about a movie.
Oh, yes, a movie indeed.
And that phrasing is important. It's only one movie. So it's pretty cool.
I mean, it's different. I'll say that for sure.
Yeah, but, I mean, if we were ever going to start just talking about one movie, for something like Avengers.
Infinity Diver.
Diver? I have heard people pronounce war that way.
Yeah, I mean,
before.
that's how Swedish people say the title.
People keep bringing up the fact that Thanos is purple.
Yep.
Oh, by the way, there's going to be spoilers, so back out if you want to.
Yeah, you definitely, if you haven't seen it yet, see it. And if you don't give a shit about seeing it, then stick around and listen.
Yeah, stick around for some very cool in-depth analysis. So Thanos is purple.
Yep.
Why do people keep bringing that up? Because Gamora's green and Drax is blue. I mean, people clearly think it's a goofy, stupid color for some reason. Now, purple happens to be my favorite color.
Mine too.
So Thanos would be a very good bride for both of us.
Yeah.
But people are just laying into the fact that he's purple. Why? Just think about it. Why? If Thanos was green, besides all the Shrek memes, it'd just be fine, I think. But for some reason, him being purple is just so fascinating and ridiculous to people.
Have we had a purple villain in superhero films before?
Not that I know of.
Well, Joker has purple, but as a coat, not as a skin color.
I would love to find a purple suit like that, but let's... Yeah, I don't know how many purple villains there are.
Yeah.
We should publish a paper, a research paper.
A thesis.
All the purple villains.
There's just one.
Because honestly, there are not enough purple villains, and we finally have one.
They need more representation.
Exactly, but there's also just this inherent problem here, because for some reason, if Thanos was red, people go, oh, ooh, scary, that makes
Devil
sense.
colors.
Yeah, ooh. Thanos was orange, they'd be like, oh, that's fine, yeah. He's orange. Makes sense.
Like Trump.
Exactly. If Thanos is yellow, I don't see much of a stink being made about it.
Asians.
Maybe people would be like, ha, minions. Or, did you, Asians?
I just jumped to the race place.
Oh, God. Well, I mean, yeah, maybe some assholes would say that.
Yeah.
And blue, I imagine, would be fine. But purple... People are really going bananas over purple. And you know what? To be fair, maybe there'd be a bit of a stink if it was yellow, too. But
Yeah.
I feel like that stink would be because it reminds people of Minions. I think in a world without Minions...
Or Homer Simpson.
Yeah, that's true. The Simpsons, too.
Because he's bald and Thanos is bald. So if he was yellow...
If we lived in a world without the Simpsons and without Minions, yellow Thanos could be taken seriously.
Yeah.
But that's not the problem. He's purple.
Like Barney the dinosaur.
But why? Why is purple ridiculous? I don't think it matters that it's unique. Because, I mean, I'm trying to, invent a color. We don't have a lot of global colored villains.
Yeah, where's their characters?
I can't invent colors, but I feel like people aren't bringing it up because, oh, that's a really interesting choice that they made. They're specifically making light of it.
Yeah.
And my theory is that purple is looked on as just this insignificant, paltry kind of color. It's a color that means royalty, but I guess in today's culture, purple is lame. It's not cool like red or blue or green. But
it is a royal color, though.
It is, but people don't look at it that way. And I think people would probably make the same stink about it if Thanos was pink.
Oh, yeah.
I can really see people bringing up, oh, he's pink.
Yeah.
But think about this. I'm obviously driving the conversation into this.
Yeah.
But could be a sexist thing. It could be. Because people could be linking purple with feminine stuff, and therefore they don't want to take Thanos seriously. Because he's purple, and that's feminine, and you can't take feminine stuff seriously. And there could be, like, a real inherent cultural issue there.
Yeah.
I'm almost embarrassed that this is what we're leading off with.
Like the most anticipated movie of the past few years. We're talking about the skin color of a fictional alien.
There's our clickbait title. Thanos being purple is sexist. No, you're sexist for knowing Thanos is purple.
For caring about Thanos' skin color.
There's something there.
Yeah.
You know what? You're right. It is a little racist, isn't it? This is skin color we're talking about.
If he was white, no one would care.
It's the perfect combination of sexism and racism at the same time.
The perfect storm.
We did it! We finally did it!
Now we can solve both.
And maybe he's gay, too. It's just,
It's cool that they'd have an empowered gay character who can destroy half the universe.
that would have been a great reveal. You just see him kiss a boy, and you're like, oh, that's...
Just Thanos kisses Rocket Raccoon right on the mouth, slips him some tongue, and then he just looks at the other Guardians and just shrugs.
Thanos could be gay.
We don't know. We never saw him... I mean, Gamora, his daughter, isn't his real daughter. He, like, adopted her.
Yeah.
Gays adopt.
Probably because he was fucking butts.
Yeah, and you can't have babies that way.
Thanos is gay.
It's the only logical explanation.
But seriously, I am actually bothered about this purple dilemma here. I am. Because purple deserves to be taken seriously. And this is speculation. It could be something else. I'm not sure what it is. I honestly am fascinated enough where I really want to dive deeper into this. But
I mean, it's the only color, I think, that hasn't had, like, a Marvel character before. And maybe the Marvel, like, colorist was just, like, the first guy who colored Thanos was like, all right, I got all these green guys. I got all these blue guys. I got a bunch of normal skin-colored guys. What am I missing? And then he breaks all his colored pencils except his purple one. And he's just like, fuck, purple, my least favorite color. Well... I guess Thanos is purple now.
And it does make him stand out because he's purple, but people are making fun of him for being purple.
He's being bullied.
I guess purple is just, if it's not related to femininity, I guess it's just an uncommon, lame color. So maybe you're right. Maybe it does have to do with its uniqueness, is that because it hasn't had time to sort of germinate as a cool, fun or fantastic color, it's just sort of looked on as an odd choice, so people make fun of it.
Yeah.
So that very well could be
like if Thanos was mauve.
Yeah. But we talked about purple a little too much.
Okay.
Let me talk about a more serious issue. Something
Whites.
that... Okay. Let's roll on back a little bit.
Yep.
But for real, something that bothered me the most in this movie...
Yep.
That Chris Pratt was a little too fat.
Are you fat shaming?
I know that's what it sounds like. But it's not that he's fat and like, yo, he's not supposed to be fat. I don't like fat people. It's that he's not supposed to be fat because his character was skinnier in the other two, and not by much. It's like he's just ever so slightly bigger.
Yeah.
And the movie does address this, and it's really funny. But for some reason, my brain was just short-circuiting, like, this is all wrong. Oh, God, no!
What happened? He's going back to Parks and Rec days.
It's weird, because I thought Chris Pratt was, like, really good at just transforming his body. But as someone that has tried to do the same thing himself, I understand it's immensely difficult.
Yeah.
And I'm not nailing him at all. I'm not, that's not the word.
But would you like to nail him?
Yes, but...
Obviously.
I'm not railing him at all. Is that...
That's also a term for intercourse.
That's the word I meant, though.
Yeah.
I'm not making fun of him for it at all. I get it. But it does... I mean, am I crazy? Did it not throw you off? Maybe you didn't notice.
I just noticed his mustache and his really long sideburns, and I was like, that's weird.
Didn't he have that before?
No, he didn't have a mustache. He grew that in this one.
I swear he did. Regardless of whether or not he had facial hair, you didn't notice that he was bigger.
No, it didn't occur to me.
Maybe I just have a sharp eye. But here's the thing. Obviously, characters can change. I mean, Thor has a different haircut.
And a different eye amount.
Yeah. Captain America has a different beard. And Scarlet Widow.
Scarlett Johansson Widow Black.
Scarlet Widow has different hair. You know, characters change, and that's fine. That's interesting, even. But I don't know. Like, now that I'm almost talking myself out of it. Like, well, if Scarlett Johansson, I'm not gonna get the character right.
Black
if
Widow.
She can have blonde hair all of a sudden with basically no explanation, and if Captain America can just have a beard all of a sudden with no explanation, why can't Chris Pratt be ever so slightly chubbier with no explanation?
Yeah?
Why not? I almost wish they just pushed it further and made him
morbidly obese.
Just really fat. Like, and I don't need fat jokes or anything like that, but if Chris Pratt was new, he's not going to be as fit as he once was. And obviously, I don't think the producers would have let him get away with it, but I just wish anyone suddenly being fat would have been great. Iron Man, oh man.
Can't fit in the suit.
He's 250 pounds now. That would have been great.
He's in a rascal.
I don't know. Doctor Strange with a giant beer belly would be really funny to me.
He controls, like, the universe, but he can't lift himself off the ground.
There's something pretty funny about a fat wizard. I don't know. Anyone, though. I would argue that it'd be a kind of positive thing, you know?
Yeah.
We need more fat superheroes. Now, obviously, there's going to be a good counter-argument. Well, I mean, if you're getting that much physical activity, it's probably going to be hard to be fat.
That's true. Sumo wrestlers.
That's true. There's a way you can be fat and fight.
Yep.
So, I'm just saying, I mean, I don't know what they're doing with Captain Marvel, but maybe
give her a few...
Brie Larson can just eat the meat.
Eat put on 30 pounds of fat.
Meat. Hashtag eat the meat, Captain Marvel.
And just like she's just fat enough where like her belly's peeking out of the bottom of her suit a little bit, but like not.
That's so non-committal. I want peak physical fat.
Like muffin top all around.
Yes. If anyone could pull off suddenly becoming fat, it was gonna be Chris Pratt.
Yeah.
Pratt, bring the fat back.
Fat.
Yeah, that was good. Thanks for adding that one.
You're welcome.
And Thanos, I mean...
He was a bit thick.
He was a pretty thick guy. He might have had a belly underneath.
It's mostly muscles, but we don't know. He could have been wearing a corset.
I hope he gets really fat being on that farm.
I mean, he didn't have a lot to do. He's not going to work out or anything when he's on there. He's just sitting there looking at the sun. Just like days go by, he's just like eating like a big bucket of KFC. Like, since he has the reality stone, he could just snap his fingers and a big bucket of KFC shows up.
That's so easy. But then, well, would he care? That's the thing. He could probably just lose weight by snapping his fingers. But would he do it?
Would he care enough at that point?
Is Thanos the kind of person that cares about his physical appearance?
He cares more about the universe being in balance, I think. But if he was too fat, he'd throw it off balance.
Well, I mean, wouldn't he want his body to be balanced?
I guess that would
And you're supposed to be taking in as many calories as you exert.
He's exerted a lot with all his punching.
So I don't think Thanos would be a fatty.
No, I guess he wouldn't.
He'd be very against fat people. Thanos would fat shame.
He would.
That should have really been...
Like Gamora as a child, like, I have enough cupcakes, they're chubby. He's just shaming Gamora, and that's how she became the best killer in the universe. Like, she channeled her, like, bullying in like, kindergarten after her people were genocided.
Yeah. Maybe Thanos, he says he's just trying to restore balance, but I think he's just trying to kill all the fat people.
I mean,
did you pay attention to when he was wiping out planets? It could have been fatties on one side, skinnies on the other.
Yeah, the people on the other side, they were all pretty fit.
Thanos could have been fat shaming.
Yep.
We don't know.
Exactly.
Except if someone pauses, they'll know immediately that we're wrong.
Yeah, and that we just completely made that part up.
This is what I'm curious about.
Yeah.
I know you have a vague idea of what the Infinity War comic is.
Yeah.
Now, you're not an expert.
No, I didn't read the whole thing. I just know bits and pieces.
Which is relieving, because you're usually the expert. But
Right.
now I can be just kind of comfortable.
With
You're
me
not
just being
intimidating.
average.
Yeah, thank you for that.
Yeah.
But basically, how is the comic different from the movie? Because here's what happens in the movie. I'll lay it out real quick. Ready? You got the Avengers and the Guardians of the Galaxy, and then Spider-Man and Black Panther and Doctor Strange. And they're like, well, we got to stop these Infinity Stones from getting into Thanos' hand, okay? Because if the Thanos gets them, then he's going to do bad. He's got one.
Nuts.
Okay. As I was saying, if Thanos gets some, then bad... Oh, wait. What? He has a second one?
Jesus.
Well, we got to stop him. Where are you? Hello? The call dropped. Oh, hold on. She's calling back. Yes, Martha? He's got five stones?
They're on other sides of the universe.
Jeez, that's quick.
Wow.
Oh, wait. The news? Okay, let's watch. He has 8 stones?
There's only 6.
Yeah, this is crazy. Wait a minute. Wait. Oh, no. Thanos is just collecting rocks. Oh, I thought he was doing a bad thing.
He's a rock collector.
Oh, my goodness.
Oh.
Jeez, he just likes rocks.
But also, he does have a few Infinity Stones.
Oh, wait, what's that? Oh, he wants to kill everyone. Oh, jeez.
Yeah, that's a problem.
Okay, I kind of got lost in the explanation there. But essentially, he wants to balance the universe by killing half the population, and he can do that with the snap of his fingers. If he gets all 6 Infinity Stones, the whole movie, all these characters are trying to stop him, but he keeps getting them, and then he gets them all, and then he does what he wanted to do. And then he sits on a farm, and he's like, nice. That's about it.
Yeah. And he's just happy. You just see contentment on his big purple face.
And on his big purple ass.
Yeah.
And you said purple. Why does it matter that he's purple?
His big face.
Thank you. Now, comic.
Yep.
How does it differ?
Well,
What can you tell us?
with the comic, it wasn't like the Avengers Infinity War. It was just Infinity War. And it involved way more Marvel characters. It involved everyone you saw in the movie, plus at least, like, I estimate 70 or 80 other named Marvel heroes and characters. And it shows the massive scope of the Marvel Universe beyond our Marvel Cinematic Universe.
See, that sounds like it was really awesome, and I bet it was if you read all the comics.
Yeah.
But I'm also thinking, I don't know, I feel like there's gotta be a number that's too many.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna say 29.
That's a
No,
good amount.
if there's even one more hero than 29,
Too
I'm gonna
much.
too much. Nah, this is too much going on.
I
But
mean, yeah.
29 and under, I feel like that is a good romp. That's gonna be a lot of fun, action packed.
Yeah.
Quite the spectacle. But
It was weird though, because the guy who eventually stopped Thanos, I never even heard of him. Like, it was a hero I never read about.
was he important or just a random hero?
He was like one of those. There's only like, I don't know, maybe 20 people in the entire universe that could go toe to toe with Thanos. And Thanos, near the end, wiped out a lot of the universe. At least half. Probably half. Exactly half.
Okay.
And so the people he didn't wipe out, like the strongest, most powerful galactic beings, one of them, whose name I can't remember for the life of me, he's like, hey, Thanos, guess what? And he's like, what? And then he snaps his fingers and he's like, you're dumb now! And Thanos is like, duh.
That's it?
Yeah, it seemed like he resolved it. I don't know how exactly he turned Thanos' brain to, like, the mind of a simpleton, but he did. And then Thanos is on a farm, farming, just kind of... He knows something's missing from his life, but he can't, like, put his finger on it because he doesn't have the brain power to anymore. So he's just like, well, guess I'm going to be content milking space cows.
Why wouldn't they kill him? He wiped out half the universe, and they're going to go, yeah, but, I mean... we can buy eggs from him. Like, really?
I don't think they could kill him. Not even, like, the most powerful beings in the universe. They couldn't resolve that, so the only way to defeat him was to just dumb him down and make him harmless.
That's a really great, sad ending.
Yeah.
And didn't all the characters stay dead?
Well, to be fair.
Not really, because obviously they come back in different comics, but in this comic we're talking
about... In this continuity, it seemed like they just stayed gone.
That's kind of cool.
Yeah.
That's the problem with this movie, is when I said that half the universe was wiped out, yeah, that includes some of our beloved characters. The Avengers stay around, so that's convenient. But we lose Black Panther, and Doctor Strange, and Spider-Man, and all but Rocket Raccoon and Guardians of the Galaxy, and then the other ones are around, I guess.
Yeah.
And, yeah, they're coming back.
They almost have to. If they don't come back in Infinity War Part Dos, I will be very surprised. Maybe pleasantly, maybe not, depending on how they execute it.
I would probably be pleasantly surprised, because the problem is we have knowledge of basic business, and we know that Black Panther is in the top 10 highest-grossing movies of all time.
Yep.
They're not killing that cash cow.
No.
And it's a real problem, because it affects the stakes of the movie.
Yeah.
If we know... oh, he's not really dead. And that does really change things. I mean, there was still an impact there. Right. It was still horrifying to see these people just disintegrate, basically.
Turn it into dust, yeah.
It was really creepy, and I love that it was quiet. There was no music. It was just really horrifying to watch.
And hearing Spider-Man be like, Mr. Stark, I feel cold, I don't want to go. And just hearing him panic about disappearing was just really, like hard hitting.
I had wondered how he knew that something was going to happen to him before it happened to him, because with everyone else it just sort of happened to them
immediately.
He seemed to know beforehand, and I realized that's probably his spider sense.
Oh, maybe.
And when I say I realized that, I meant someone made a comment on something I was reading, and I took credit for their observation right now.
Or he felt like his pinky toe disintegrating, and he's like, uh-oh, this is gonna spread.
Oh god, I don't feel so good. I don't... oh.
His vomit disintegrates.
I guess that was it.
And it's just... he's just like, my pancreas is gone, but I'm fine otherwise.
What he says... like, he wants to balance the universe by getting rid of half the people. Everyone is just in half now. Like, oh, well, I guess this isn't so bad. They're just like, all hopping around on one foot. Hey, Bill!
And Tony Stark's like, half my blood is gone. He's just like, I just like to take the half of some things.
Thanos, I thought when you said that you were gonna get rid of half the population, you're gonna kill half the people. That's what happens when you make assumptions, guys. No, I was just gonna get rid of half of everybody, including me. Look, it's just half of Thanos. Hee hee. Hi, guys. Oh, that's not so bad.
Yeah, it's pretty nice.
Somehow everyone's surviving without half of their vital organs. We won't address that.
Yeah, it's a Marvel movie.
That's how the movie should have ended, honestly.
Yeah. Thanos is just like, see, guys, I was just trying to help. Oh, we forgive you.
That's our Thanos. It's a real problem, though, because they're coming back. They already have a Spider-Man movie in the works, another one, so you're like, well, Spider-Man's coming back.
Yeah.
Unless he's somehow not in it and it's a different Spider-Man. And that's the thing. It would be an awesome, bold move for them to actually keep these characters dead. And I would appreciate that a lot, but it's not going to change the fact that when I first watched this, after the ending, my initial feeling was just skepticism. I'm like, no, they're not actually dead. They wouldn't do that.
Right.
And that's a problem I don't know how you overcome. is that our knowledge of the industry, which is a very basic knowledge is all you really need, is that these are really popular characters that are in their prime right now. They're not going to kill him off. If Iron Man died, I'd go, okay, I can believe that.
He's been around for a while.
He's had 3 movies. Robert Downey Jr. is probably like, I got other things I want to do.
Yeah.
So I could see that happening.
Right.
And that's a real issue. It really does affect your immersion, just your basic knowledge of Hollywood.
Yeah.
It impacts which characters you believe will die and which ones you won't. And I feel like the only way around that, like, even if an artist commits to it, and they're like, yes, Black Panther is really dead. We don't care how much money that movie made. He's really dead.
That'd be gutsy.
We're still not going to believe it.
Yeah,
Like,
until part 2.
I won't believe it until 14 years later when I'm like, oh, well, I guess they're not making another Black Panther.
That was the end. Even the comics stopped.
But then it'll be too late at that point.
Yeah.
Like, there is no avoiding the skepticism of they're not really dead.
Yeah.
And so it does take some punch out of that ending, but it is still horrifying.
Yeah. I'm thinking in part 2 there will be permanent deaths. Like you said, maybe Tony Stark will finally bite it.
I imagine there will be permanent deaths in part 2.
Besides Thanos, if they can even kill him.
Yeah, that'll be... I actually foresee... I'm not going to make smart predictions here, but I feel like the Avengers are basically going to sacrifice themselves in order to save everyone else somehow.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe.
It's possible.
Or everyone will live. And like, yo, hooray!
I'll be like, oh, okay, well.
I don't know. But yeah, we had a couple half the universe goes away deaths. And I'm like, okay, those are probably real, but I didn't care too much about any of them.
Yeah, I mean, the only reason we cared about the one Guardian of the Galaxy being killed...
Which one?
Gamora, the daughter of Thanos. He had to go to this... In order to get one of the last Infinity Stones, he had to go to this planet, and they're like, you have to sacrifice something you love. And Gamora's like, haha, you don't love anything, stupid. And then he's just like, guess what, bitch? I do. Bye. And he throws her off a cliff, and then he gets the Infinity Stone because he loves her.
That was such an effective scene, and you just like summarized it and did it no justice.
No,
because that was great, because you don't expect someone like Thanos to love anyone.
Yeah.
And then it was brutal because he could actually get farther as a monstrous person because of his love.
Yeah.
That was great. And I think what made Thanos so scary is that, yeah, obviously he believed what he was doing was right, but he acted very reasonably about everything. Like, he seemed sensible in every way. If you, just from a basic, like, the way he'd talk with people.
Yeah.
It makes sense. It wasn't anything off-putting.
He wasn't like
crazy.
a megalomaniac.
Yeah, it was just, he seemed very well put together, which makes sense. He's into balance.
Yeah.
But, wow, that's weird. Thanos is so into balance, but what if his nose was, like, a little crooked?
He's just trying to snap it.
I feel like that'd really bother him. He's like, hey, honey. Yes, Thanos? My nose, like, is it, like, a little crooked? No. You're just saying that because you know it's going to bother me. Tell me the truth. It's a little crooked. God damn it!
And he uses the reality stone to change his nose.
That's all. He wanted to gather all 6 stones. Just finally.
Perfect symmetry. Speaking of that planet scene, one of the weirdest parts of it, besides, I mean, the Thanos killing his daughter part wasn't weird because it kind of was implying he had a connection to her, like, a number of times earlier. But the weirdest part of it for me was the robed figure that showed up to tell Thanos, you must sacrifice someone you love. And you're like, oh, is this the Grim Reaper or something? And it's just like, oh, no, it's Red Skull from Captain America 1, the evil Nazi with the red head who was disintegrated. Why is he on this space planet?
Now, here's the thing. I actually happened to catch the first Captain America movie on TV the other day, and I watched what happened to Red Skull. He basically touched that special cube.
Yeah.
And, you know, he was covered in light, and it looked like he was in pain. And then basically this light just shot up. And we thought he was dead.
Yeah.
But seeing it again, I'm thinking, it makes sense. He was probably just transported.
It's just weird that it just sent him to this planet conveniently guarding an Infinity Stone.
Yeah. It's interesting, though. I wasn't upset. I'm like, oh, fuck. There he is.
Yeah.
There's a boy! Red Skull!
Our favorite Nazi.
Everyone was waiting for Red Skull and what would happen to him. I like Red Skull. I'm fine with that. Whatever.
Yeah. It was just weird because he wasn't like a Nazi anymore. He was just a space ghost.
You know another thing I thought of that I thought was interesting? Spider-Man hasn't really seen aliens at all before, or even been on another planet.
Newspapers of the Avengers stuff.
Okay, well, yeah, all right, fine. I guess that's true. You took the fun out of it.
Sorry, just pretend I never said anything.
Okay. But I wish... Oh, wait, are we done with the Gamora scene?
Yeah.
It was really effective.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I really like the Guardians of the Galaxy movies.
Mm-hmm.
So it's kind of upsetting to think at least one of them is probably really gone.
Yeah.
But it's also great because I was a little bothered that the one girl character seemed to just be like the insignificant one. And she was cool, but it's like, these boys are at it again.
Yeah,
and
that was her role.
But she became the important Guardian of the Galaxy in this movie. Yeah. It's going to be a sausage party if she's actually dead, though.
Yeah.
Like, we need...
The only girl is, like, Mantis, the empath girl.
And I like Mantis. Mantis is cool, too, but we just need more. Maybe, you know what? More opportunity. Rocket Raccoon, transsexual. For all we know, he is a female raccoon.
Yeah, and that's just how female raccoons in space behave.
Do you know the difference between a male and a female raccoon?
You'd have to get up real close.
Female raccoons have big-ass titties.
That's biologically how they work.
Rocket Raccoon just
big nips.
With a big rack. Hey.
And he's got that, like, New York voice, like, hey, boys, check out my titties.
Like, is that, like, listen, Rocket, it's chill that you want to be a woman now, but, you know, women raccoons, they don't, like, have big old human titties.
I'm lactating.
I like to think Thanos would be very supportive of it.
He is gay, so he's part of the LGBTQ community.
How awkward it'd be if Thanos is going to a gay pride parade. Just, well, he killed half of us, but, I mean...
He's still one of us.
Yeah, like, jeez. Man.
And they're just like, I really wish you didn't kill my LGBT brothers and sisters. And he's just like, they were my brothers and sisters, too. I can't argue with that.
Yeah.
The kids will probably have nightmares about their favorite heroes turning to dust.
And you know what? That's rightfully so. I was horrified, and I'm a grown-ass man. It's
true.
Just scary shit to think that we could be doing this podcast, and then all of a sudden, my fingers start disappearing, and I'm just wiped from existence.
Yeah, that's true.
And no music will be playing, and it'll be really creepy.
And I'll just be like, Drew!
Honestly, there was a small scene at the very end of the movie that showed a little bit of this, but I wanted to see the wider consequences of this happening. Because we just saw the heroes disappearing. I want to see what happens with the world. It was so interesting because a plane just crashes into a building because the pilot probably disappeared.
Yep.
That's horrifying. Mm-hmm. I feel like just that on its own could make for a whole horrifying movie.
Yeah.
Like, they should just make just a horror movie with
civilians.
That, and then go on to part 2. Or 3 parts. Yeah. Part 1 is that. Part 2 is just...
civilians.
Just all the civilians. And then part 3.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know.
That'd be interesting.
It creeps me out. Yeah. Honestly, it just stuck in my memory. As skeptical as I am about all of it, I mean, it's just creepy. And honestly, I mean, the collateral damage, because maybe those people will come back that disappeared, but everyone in that plane that the pilot disappeared from is now dead for real. So they gotta like really reverse time if they're gonna make this work.
Right.
You know what I mean?
It felt to me a lot like The Rapture, which was weird because like it was like that series Left Behind where it's just like all the sinners are on Earth. So I imagine it'd be interesting to see like a Christian person being like, wait a minute, I'm still stuck here, why? And Thanos is just like, God's not real, it's just me.
There would be a lot of people that think it's the Rapture, a lot of religious people. Yeah. That would be very bummed. Like, there would probably be someone like, hooray, I'm disappearing, yay! Like,
they're just dead.
Yeah, and then like, oh, whoops, no God.
Whoops, just the abyss.
I'm tapped out, though. I don't know. I had a lot of fun with the movie. It was great. I don't believe the ending, but... I don't feel this with most movies, but I would actually watch it again. It was just a really fun movie, and every character gets a moment. There's a good bad guy, and yeah, it's really simple. They're just trying to stop him from getting stones, but it works.
Yeah.
And it's great, and I feel like there's a lot of interesting bits and pieces of what this movie was revealed in other Marvel movies. Like, Guardians of the Galaxy was on the other day, and they're talking about their 6 Infinity Stones. I'm like, oh shit, they were talking about this years ago. Yeah. Like, it's crazy. So, I feel like watching all the Marvel movies and remembering them and then seeing this is going to be really cool.
Yeah.
It'll be a real payoff.
Definitely.
So, I would recommend it a lot more than I Feel Pretty.
Oh, you saw I Feel Pretty?
Yeah.
I thought we were only seeing Infinity War.
No, we don't have to talk about I Feel Pretty, technically, but I saw it.
I don't want to cut you off. You go ahead.
Oh, I wasn't even going to talk about it.
Oh.
I guess I could.
I mean, you might as well. I mean, I don't think I'll see it at this point.
All right. I Feel Pretty fucking sucked. Do you know the premise of I Feel Pretty?
Isn't it like Amy Schumer hits her head or something, and it causes her to think she's skinnier than she is?
Yes.
Oof.
Let's just describe this. Her accident where she hits her head. For some reason, when we first see her on an exercise bike, she's apparently so fat that she breaks it, which here is an inherent problem with Amy Schumer being cast in this movie. Amy Schumer is not that unattractive.
No.
She's not the most conventionally attractive person, but there is a lot more ugly that could be on display here. I mean, her posture is fine.
Yeah.
Bad posture is a huge contributing factor to being unattractive. Her face, not the greatest face, but there's not acne or anything like that. She doesn't have like a really crooked nose or something like that.
Right.
You know, she looks fine.
Slightly above average, I'd say.
But I get it. She's not conventionally attractive. But that will become a problem. It starts off immediately as a problem because I don't believe she's so fat she would break an exercise bike. Melissa McCarthy? Yeah, maybe. It'd be hard to believe regardless because they're fucking exercise
They'd
bikes.
have to be morbidly obese because exercise machines are designed to take overweight people into account.
Yeah, exactly. But whatever, she broke it. But then she goes on it another time a little bit later in the movie and she falls off it and the wheel is still spinning on the bike and it catches her hair and I'm pretty sure it rips a chunk of it out. Now I'm thinking she's been scalped. She's dead.
Rips her skull off.
It really actually looked like she got scalped. I'm like, oh fuck. Like, I don't know where this movie's going because I didn't know what the premise was. I'm just like, what the fuck? There's a joke they made earlier in the movie where she went to a fountain and she made a wish that she would be beautiful. And I thought, all right, this is going one of two ways. That's actually going to happen and that's lame. Or maybe they'll subvert it and that'll be potentially funny if nothing happens. Nothing happened, but they didn't even play it for laughs. She was just upset and then they moved on. And I'm like, what? But I guess in her mind it technically happened because after the scalping, like we never see the back of her head.
Oh.
It looks like it'd be a horrific bloody injury.
Like at least a bald patch.
I don't even think any of her hair is missing from what I can see. I see nothing. She just has some ice there. She's not even taken to a hospital. She's like dragged to the bathroom and they're like, here's a complimentary towel. Bye.
Just like, that'll help your concussion, right?
But then here's a really confusing part.
Okay.
She had a head injury, so now she sees herself as beautiful. Mm-hmm. You never at any point in the movie see what she sees.
Oh, yeah.
So you don't know what the version of her being attractive is. Now, it would have taken a really good director, but you could have made a really cool movie visually where you have another actress playing the version of Amy Schumer that she sees herself as. That would have actually been really interesting. I mean, there's no saving this movie because it's Amy fucking Schumer.
Yeah.
And I'm not too into her.
No.
But that would have at least been cool. But no, like, this is the only thing I say. She's looking at her arms. And one of the arms in, like, this horrific CGI thing is, like, a lot skinnier and nicer.
Ugh.
Like, what the fuck? And then you
Weird.
see it with her legs. Like, what? And I thought, like, is she just transforming into a beautiful girl somehow? But then you never see anything else. She was about to look in the mirror, and I'm like, okay, so we're going to see that she sees her beautiful face. And we don't. Like, that's it. We just see this weird arm, and then we see this weird leg, and maybe I'm crazy. Maybe they were normal. Because that's the thing. Amy Schumer is thin enough where, like, it's easy to look at her arms and go, is that, like, attractive now? I can't tell because she's not unattractive enough.
No, she's not, yeah.
That really is a big issue. Like, it just kind of ruins... There's a moment where she's, like, wearing something scantily clad, and she's doing these sexy dance moves, and everyone's really into it, and I'm like, well, yeah, because it doesn't look that bad.
Yeah.
She's rocking, like, the fat pack, where it's, like, there's, like, fat abs or something like that.
Yeah.
It doesn't look bad enough.
Right.
And it just kills me because I feel like there's a really interesting point that could have been made in this movie if we actually saw the version of Amy Schumer that she thought she was and didn't have Amy Schumer in this movie. Had an actual, legitimately, unconventionally attractive person in there.
Yeah.
Or conventionally ugly, if we want to put it that way. And we could have really seen the contrast, really seen how people are treated differently based on how they look.
Right.
But instead, she just thought she was attractive, so she was acting confident. And then people just kind of went, oh, okay. That was about it. And I mean, I guess that's good in its own right, because it's saying all you have to do is be confident and people will treat you better. But it didn't even seem like she was treated like that much better.
No.
Really? And I just had big problems. There was a moment at the end where she was basically showing a before picture and an after picture, showing how she looked different. And in a better movie, it would have it wouldn't have made sense. But if we could see like an actual attractive picture of her and then an unattractive picture of her, there would have been a weight to that moment. But instead, it's just like the same picture of her in different clothes. And then she looks at it and goes, hey, wait a minute, I look the same. And that's the moment she realizes, oh, wait, it was all in my head. But I'm thinking, you put this presentation together. Did you not, like, notice? And here's the other, did it not tip you off when you went into clothing stores that, you know, you were wearing the same size clothes? Like,
yeah.
Wait a minute, that's a little off.
It's like, why does this like extra large dress fit me perfectly?
It was a mess of a movie. It was sad, and Amy Schumer cannot cry, and that's fine. It's hard to do crying in your acting performances. So don't take roles where you have to do it. There are many moments where she was supposed to be sad. No, she can't. Like, all I'm thinking is, wow, she really just can't cry. And it's too bad. I feel like there was potential with this movie, but it was just garbage. It was really bad.
It sounds a lot like Shallow Hal.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't see Shallow Hal.
Well, it involved a guy who judged women based on their looks, but then like some magic spell made him see like women for who they are on the inside. So Gwyneth Paltrow, who's like in a big fat suit, supposed to be playing like a fat woman.
Are you fucking kidding? They didn't even hire an unattractive person. They just had Gwyneth Paltrow in a fat suit.
And then when he sees her as normal-sized Gwyneth Paltrow.
See, that visual thing. They didn't even try that in this movie.
That would have made
kills
sense.
me.
At least put Amy Schumer in a fat suit.
I think I wanted. This is how badly I wanted to give someone credit for something. I'm thinking maybe the director just wanted the audience to be in the shoes of everyone else and think, what? This is crazy. She doesn't look like she's changed at all.
Yeah.
But I doubt that even that amount of thought was put into it.
Probably not.
It was disappointing.
You were expecting something from it?
There was a premise there. Like, there was something to that premise. I feel like there is a lot that can be said about attractiveness and conventional beauty.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't mind if this was a good movie about that.
Yeah.
And it's just not what we got. So, yeah, don't see I Feel Pretty. I don't see why anyone would want to see I Feel Pretty, but I guess if your boss tells you to watch it, then watch it.
Wait, what do you mean your boss?
Just, if it's somebody's job and they have to see the movie.
What is that? Why did that specific example come up?
I'm just, like movie reviews or something like that. Okay, you know what? Whatever. I'm gonna have to say it eventually. We did have to see 3 movies this week, and I didn't pass that on because I wasn't feeling up for it.
We had to. We had to, and you didn't fucking tell me anything?
Mrs. Seelan gave me the list of movies that we were supposed to see, and honestly, I've had enough, so we're just gonna do one movie in these episodes, because the band is falling apart, and Mrs. Seelan is not the boss of us.
You do realize how short a leash we're on, right?
How are we... We've been doing fine.
Last week, we didn't make the deadline for the release of the episode.
We almost made the deadline. It was like 3 minutes, and I tried for an hour to just reset the time zone.
But everyone's gonna see, even if it was 3 minutes late, everyone's gonna imagine it was 24 hours late, because it's a whole other day.
Well, I don't see why these even have to be released every Wednesday anyway. That's another thing I don't like.
She likes consistency, and she thinks it's important to develop like a schedule, because otherwise we're just releasing things all willy-nilly.
Well, I like consistency in a schedule too, with our bands, and that's what we need to be focusing on. We didn't get to day rehearsals. It didn't happen.
We can do both.
We clearly can't do both. It hasn't been working out. And do you want to know what the other movie was that we were supposed to see?
What?
Duck, Duck, Goose. Have you fucking heard of Duck, Duck, Goose?
It sounds like a kid's movie? I don't know.
Yeah, it's some fucking kid's movie, and we'd have to drive an hour and 11 minutes just to find a theater that's even playing it.
Well, I think that'd be worth it if we stayed in Mrs. Seelan's good graces, because she can boot us out of here whenever she wants.
Well, maybe that's fucking fine if she just boots us out.
What are you talking? This is our, like, way to climb up the ladder.
There's probably another way. I don't know. I haven't thought about it too much, but I'm fucking done.
There's probably another way, but you don't know?
I'm going off my fucking feelings here. My feelings are that I'm not driving an hour and 11 minutes to see fucking Duck, Duck, fucking Goose.
She could kick us out on the street, all because of your fucking stubbornness.
Yeah, well, then fucking so we could just... I don't know. I don't fucking know. Did you want to see Duck, Duck, Goose?
I'd be okay with it if we saw it together and suffered through it as friends and partners.
No, I don't think you would be okay with it, because it's a fucking shitty movie, and we're spending time watching shitty movies instead of focusing on our fucking band.
But we'd make something fun out of our suffering. That's what all great comedians do.
No, that's not what we do. We're a band. This podcast isn't our thing.
We're artists. We can do multiple things. We don't have to limit ourselves to music.
I'm not. This isn't for me. I'm not a movie guy. I'm not a podcast guy.
How do you know?
Because Blinkity Bloop is my thing, not this podcast, the band. And I thought it was your thing, too.
It is. But
It is?
I want to do both.
Why do you want to do both?
Because the podcast is an easy way to climb.
Yes, but it's not fucking working.
We've only been trying this a few months. We don't know for real if it won't work for good or not. We got to keep at it.
Well, I know that our music has suffered.
It can recover.
Well, you know what? What's done is done. Because we already had a podcast that was late. And this is it. You didn't see I Feel Pretty or Duck Duck Goose.
Because you didn't tell me. I would have seen it.
That's the way it is. That's the way... Yeah, maybe I didn't want you to see it because I knew this would happen. You'd start getting all mad at me.
You fucked us.
I didn't fuck us. The band is going to be fine.
There's more to us than the band is the most important thing, but that doesn't mean you have to destroy everything else.
Yeah, I know this podcast is a path for the band, but if it's destroying the band, there's not going to be a band left.
It's not destroying the band. It's putting us on a difficult path, but if we keep at it, we'll see our way through to the end and be in a better place than we'd be without the podcast.
I just don't fucking believe that. I don't believe that. I think it's time for this fucking ship to sink.
We've gone too far to give up now.
I don't know what you want me to say. I don't know what you want out of me. What are we going to do?
I don't know.
Do you want to go see the movies and then it's going to be a day late regardless? How much time? 2 hours to get this up on Wednesday. I don't even know if I'm going to be able to.
This was such a clear path for me and you're throwing a wrench in the whole machine.
I'm not trying to make you upset. It's just I don't fucking know. I don't know what's gonna happen now. I was going on feelings. Maybe that wasn't a great idea, but it feels right. I don't regret it. I don't fucking regret it because we need to be this isn't focusing on music. I know on paper it looks like it's focusing on music. It's the right direction for the band, and that's what I thought, but it's fucking...
I just don't... I don't fucking know what to fucking say right now. I'm feeling a lot of things, and they're not really good.
Let's just see what happens, alright? That's all we can do at this point.
Yeah.
I don't even know if... Well, clearly, I don't know if Mrs. Seelan listens, but...
She doesn't, but she knows when we do them.
She caught immediately we uploaded a day late, of course.
Yeah.
I don't know
She's
what the fuck...
watching, she just doesn't care enough to listen, which is fine. But what matters is we're here, we're in Fissure Mist Media. This is our opportunity to get access to bigger and better things to help our band along. And if we throw that away because this podcast is too hard, then we're back at square one.
What are we going to do when we get there if we don't have a band?
We will have a band. The band is our life. So even through the hardest hardships, the band will always be there.
I don't think it's our life anymore. I think now our life is Blinkity Bloop. The podcast, not the band.
You sound so defeated.
I'm not defeated. I don't know. I'm just done with this and whatever. We'll see what the ruling is. We'll see what the almighty Mrs. Seelan that controls our podcast and our band has to say.
Well, I tell you, I really hope she doesn't decide to finally listen into this one, because she will not be pleased.
She's probably not. She won't. I don't know. She better not.
At this point, it doesn't even matter if we say some, like, awful thing about her, because at this point, she's probably going to boot us out no matter what.
Yeah. Well, this podcast is brought to you by Fissure Mist Media. I don't know. Do I even have to fucking do this? What? They do audio. They do this podcast.
They do movie audio recording.
Yes, movie stuff. Emphasize the movie stuff.
They do music, and of course, they do podcasts, which we are doing right now.
Yeah. So, come book your stay at Fissure Mist Media.
It's a great time.
Get your audio stuff done.
All sorts of great things happening here.
All right. Okay, we're done.
Yeah.
Let's
focus
on the fucking music or something.
Yeah, I guess.